Hey everyone, today I'm going to be making the cowl neck top as it won the vote on my Instagram. I'm going to be showing you how to take your measurements, make the pattern and sew it together. So I hope you enjoy and that you learn something. So for our cowl neck measurements, you want to measure your bust and you just want to take the tape measurer and put it around the fullest point of your bust. You're also going to want to take your back width, so just from your side seam to side seam. And then we're going to want to take the length that we want our top to be. And then for the cowl neck drape, you want to take the fabric and drape it across your neck and just determine how long you want the depth of the drape to be basically. I didn't want it to be too much, so mine was around 40-45 centimeters. Then once you've got those measurements, we can move on to drafting the pattern. We won't need to use our bust measurement in the pattern. Our bust measurement was just a reference point to ensure that the top will fit us, so my cowl neck drape measurement has to be bigger than my bust measurement, if that makes sense. But to get started, you want to divide your cowl neck drape measurement in half and add 2.5 centimeters, and for the back width you want to divide it in half. The rest of the measurements will stay the same. So first I'm just marking a straight line, the length that I want the top to be, and I've distinguished my front from the back. So on the back side I make a line marking my back width, and again with the front using my cowl drape measurement. From the top front side I measured 2 centimeters in from the front edge and 11 centimeters down. Then I just created an armhole curve. From the bottom of the armhole curve I drew a straight line through to the back side, and then I just brought the top line of the back down to that line. Then on the back I measured 5 centimeters down and marked a line, and that's where the back facing will go. And again I followed that line through to the front. And then you want to start marking in all your pattern information. So the symbol that you see me draw is the line and the arrow, and this just means that the pieces need to be cut on the fold, so no seam allowance will go there. We need to trace around the back facing area so that we have a separate piece from the back. You also want to make a strap that is 80 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide. So make a rectangle 40 centimeters length by 2 centimeters width, and this piece will get cut on the fold as well. Now the last step is to add seam allowance all around the pattern except for on the center front and center back. The usual amount is around 1 centimeter, but I'm going to be doing 1.5 centimeters because I'll be doing a French seam, which I'll show you how to do when we start sewing. So I've just cut out all my pieces now, and here's my front, back facing and strap. I added 1.5 centimeter seam allowance because I think I'm going to do a French seam. I'll go into more detail about what that is when I start sewing it, but I also want to note that in the video you see me add a seam allowance on this part here of the pattern on the folded edge, and we don't need that. I was supposed to cut it off, so when I printed it out I just chopped it off, and on the facing as well. And then I also made a strap piece which is 40 centimeters long by 2 centimeters wide, and that will also get cut on the fold. So when it comes to cutting out your front piece, I marked a line here which is where we're gonna fold the fabric down. So basically I've got my fabric on the folded edge, then I'm gonna fold it down again like this. So my fabric's on the folded edge and I folded it down until that folded bit reaches this point, and the same on the other side. Then you can trace around your piece and cut it out. Just want to note that once I cut my pieces out, I did a little snip over here just so that I know where to fold it back once I'm ready to sew it. Now I'm just gonna cut this bit so that it's all the same. The first thing we're gonna sew up is the straps. To sew the straps, all you're gonna do is fold it in half, right sides facing, and do a straight stitch all along there. So now I'm just going to turn my strap the right sides out. So I've got something called a loop turner or a bodkin, and all I do is poke this through and drag it all down the loop. Then once I have it at the end of the loop, I just, well, mine's broken, but you should have this thing that latches on and clips like a paper clip. But obviously if you don't have this, you can do it with a paper clip and it works the same way. So now I've got it going, all I have to do is just pull on it and it starts to flip it. So I've got my strap turned right sides facing, and I'm just going to give it a quick iron. So I just folded my strap in half and cut it down the middle. Then I measured it over my shoulder to see how long I needed it to be, and then I marked. So I just made a mark here at the start and end of it so that I know where I need to sew along it when we're trapping it in the fabric. So now I'm just going to take the back facing and I'm going to hem it 0.5 centimeters, and then again, just that we have like a double fold like that basically. And then I'm just going to fold it again and do another straight stitch. So this is what it looks like now that it's been sewn. I'm just going to give it a quick iron just to make it lie flat. We're going to do the exact same thing to the cowl neck bit. This is the cowl neck when it's on the fold, but the facing bit that we had to cut here, I'm just going to fold it and do that clean hem again all the way across here. So now I've just taken my back piece right sides facing up and my facing right sides facing down, and I'm just going to sew a straight stitch connecting them together. My fabric is so sensitive, like it moves so easily, so it doesn't even look like a straight line, but I promise you it is. I've attached my facing to the back piece and I've ironed my seam allowance towards the facing, and I'm just going to do a top stitch. So now I need to attach the straps to the front of the top, and because I'm doing a French seam, this is going to be a bit different to how other tutorials would do it. So I've got my materials wrong sides facing, and where I marked where my strap ends, I'm just going to place that right in the corner where we snipped it. So now I'm just going to sew along the armhole. Earlier I said you need to trap the straps on the inside with the wrong sides facing, but I was wrong. You still need it to be wrong sides facing, but you need the strap to be on top in the corner. So now that my armhole is sorted, my straps are sewn on the outside, what we're going to do is trim this down to about half the seam allowance or a little bit less and iron it so that this seam is perfectly flat. Then we're going to flip it inside out and sew 0.5 centimeters all around that seam. And this is called a French seam. So I finished the French seam on the armhole, and this is what it should look like. Your strap should be set in nicely there, and this is what it looks like on the inside. It's nice and neat, and obviously I've done the same to the other side. So the next bit is to do that same kind of thing on the side seam. Now we just need to attach them at the side seams, wrong sides facing, because we're going to do a French seam. So I've sewn up my side seams now, and like a fool I forgot to trap the straps into the back facing. So when you're sewing the facing to the bodice, make sure you pin the straps where you want them to be and sew them in. So I need to unpick this and add it in. So all you want to do is trim your seam allowance halfway, iron it, and then flip it so that your fabrics are right sides facing, and sew a 0.5 centimeter stitch all along the side seam. So the top is done now, and I've finished my French seams, and French seams just stop the fabric from fraying. So this is the inside, and then the outside is a normal seam. The next thing to do now is just hem the bottom, and I'm going to do that double hem that we did earlier, so 0.5 centimeter stitch and then again. And then it's time for the rhino reveal. It's a little bit chilly. See, in the UK we see a little bit of sun and then we start wilding out. Like, it's still cold. Let me put my cardigan on. Yeah. Thanks guys for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and again, it was clear to understand, like I say in every single video. But basically this top, I made a pattern for it. So I've graded the pattern up from a size 6 to a size 14, and I'm gonna have it available on my Etsy page hopefully by the time this video is up. So if you wanna make this top, you know where to get the pattern from. Anyways, I do have some announcements that I want to make. First one is that I really dislike this lipstick. Please can we ignore it? So I know that I haven't been on YouTube for a while, but that's because I'm working on stuff in the background. I've got a few videos lined up which I'm sure you'll enjoy, and also I have a really exciting announcement. I'm going to be making corsets to order, like made to order from your measurements, like actual on the waist training corsets. So I'm really excited. This is the first time that I'm actually going to be selling something consistently. Like, I've made a few custom orders here and there, but this is something I want to produce basically. So stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to launch around March, end of March. I'm just finalizing a few things at the moment, but I'm really excited, and I hope that you can support me and my small business. Yeah, I'm not gonna keep this on for too long, so comment. So please like, comment, subscribe, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.